so much. There's a famous Indian guru named Ramana Maharshi who once said that the greatest gift that you can offer the universe is your own self-realization. And I reflected on this a lot in my life, what this means. Why does my own self-realization or my own self-reflection, what does that have to do with the outside world? And I found that it's true that in some way the material and spiritual world are linked in this way. That when you take your own inward journey inward, when you go inwardly on this journey with the intention to discover something about yourself, something deeper, something that's, sort of past the changingness of your personality, something like, what is the eternal thing that's watching this changingness of your personality happen? And try to get in touch with that and try to figure out what that mystery is. And when you do these sort of practices of self-inquiry or mantras or just like meditation or whatever it is that you do to connect, when you do these practices, things begin to get revealed to you. Sorry, I'm right by an airport. But when you do these practices, things begin to get revealed to you, and you begin to understand that life is actually something that's really beautiful and really mysterious, despite the sort of position you might find yourself in, or the sort of suffering that you find yourself in. Anything, if you're going through a heartbreak, or you lost your job, or you're going through financial troubles, or this or that, or you're sick, or whatever, all these things, and I know it's really easy for me to say, but all these things are in the face of the infinite, in the face of the universe, in the face of the eternal. When you're connected to that, it sort of makes these things a bit trivial, or a bit like it's okay. Like, it is all okay, actually. And when you start to do this practice of connecting with that whatever happens is okay, because it happened and it's happening, and I have no choice but to accept it because it is what it is and it's happening, and this is truth. This is an accepting of truth, and that within itself is a spiritual practice. So when we do this, when we get in touch with this, and we can live through it, and we can see this reflected in other people and express it in our interactions with them. So like when we see the mystery in other people, or when we see this beauty or this divine temporariness, and maybe if someone's acting out, or someone's a dick, or someone was rude, you can say like, man, they're going through something, and you have to have compassion that it's okay, that it's okay, and that they're just expressing their perspective of the universe, and you don't have to take it on as your own. So when you reflect love to somebody like that, it's a switch changer. It breaks the paradigm that they are living in. They expect you to match their frequency, and most people do match their frequency. When you're around someone that's annoying, or someone's a dick, like, oh, fuck off. You get. Humans are contagious creatures. You're around an asshole, you become an asshole. You're around someone that's laughing, even if you don't know what they're laughing about, you start laughing. You're around someone that's crying, you don't even have to know what they're crying about. The emotion itself is, humans are contagious. So when you are loving to somebody that is clearly hurting, and they're living in a world that is justifying that because, maybe they're an asshole, so other people are assholes to them, whatever. Be loving to them, and it changes the paradigm. Because most of this pain that we feel in life, most of this trauma that we carry, that we sort of just accept as being some quirk of our personality, is not actually a quirk of our personality. These are things that are passed down from our cultures. They're passed down from our cultures, passed down from our parents' lack of self-understanding and self-reflection, from their parents' lack of self-understanding and self-awareness. And this sort of pain that gets passed down from generation to generation, we take that on, and we don't realize that it's just a wound. It's just a hereditary wound that is, both families are probably having. Your dad probably has it. Your mom probably has it. And I mean, we know that we have it as individuals, so we're going to pass that to our children. Unless we can develop a spiritual practice. And, it's very rare to be raised in a family that has a legitimate spiritual practice that's accepting and true spirituality, in the sense where it's not dogmatic or bound to anything. It's freedom and it's love and compassion, So, I guess what I'm trying to say is when you develop a spiritual practice and you heal yourself, and that is your worldview, that's the way that's the operating system that you use to interact with people and the world that you are in. You're not actually healing the people around you, healing yourself, but you're healing all those ancestors that were carrying that emotional trauma that eventually made its way to you. You're releasing your ancestors. You're releasing them of when they say, like, when spirits die, and maybe they stick around because maybe they have unfinished business, or they're just angry or lost in a desire, like maybe they were looking for something and they died in that desperation, so they're still just trapped in that limbo. If you believe in this sort of superstition, you could argue that we heal them when we heal ourselves. When we heal our emotional stuff and we transcend the bullshit, when we really do rise above the lower aspects that just are just like the stuff that's not even really who we are. The stuff that makes us engage with the world in a way that's not in harmony with things, and it's not peaceful, and it's not still, and it's not a place of here and nowness. Here and now meaning like this moment is tranquil. Yeah, there's things that are happening in my life that that maybe are worthy of stress or whatever, but like, where is it in this moment? Here and now. So like, not only do we heal our ancestors when we heal ourselves, our previous ancestors, but we heal our future ancestors, our children. When we raise our children in a conscious way, it's going to change who they are as human beings, opposed to if we just carry on the way our parents raised us, or the way that the culture raises us as a society. And when our children are healed, we are just sending ripples out into the universe. Do you see what I mean when I say like our own healing is the world's healing? I had a ceremony in ayahuasca once. It was really interesting. The ayahuasca experience produces a visionary trance that allows you to communicate with the deepest parts of your subconscious. The shamans call it the spirit world. They're saying you're communicating with legitimate spirits that are existing externally to you. And you can communicate with them in the sense of a dialogue. You can talk to them. And I was speaking to the mother spirit of ayahuasca, and it really does come to you in the form of like a spirit. Very crazy experience. But I remember I was saying, why do you heal people? Because I worked at this ayahuasca center for months, and I watched many people, hundreds of people, get healed, legitimately. I've seen the process, and many people have these amazing awakenings. I talk to them still. And they're carrying on the journey of what the ayahuasca visions revealed to them. And something I find profoundly interesting was what ayahuasca said to me. Ayahuasca said, I healed all these people because if I don't heal them, they're going to destroy the world, and that destroys me. So me healing them is actually is healing myself. I'm securing my own survival by healing you. And in the same way that the trees need you to release your breath, and you need the trees to release their breath, the oxygen. there isn't a relationship with plants. So when we heal ourselves, when we become aligned with nature, everything ripples into abundance, And I don't know what kind of effect that has in the universe, but I can only imagine, as above, so below, that these ripples are infinite if we realize our own inner limitations are infinite. And they are infinite. And anyways, yeah, so I just thought this was an interesting idea, that our self-realization, our own healing really is the greatest gift that we can offer the universe. It's the greatest gift that we can offer our friends, our family, the people and our loved ones, and our strangers in the streets. Because when you awaken, we're all mirrors for each other, When you are awakened and you're not you're not reactionary to the world and to people, it gives them a second to look at themselves. If someone says something to you and they're expecting a reaction and you don't give it to them, it bounces back and it reveals to them, oh my God, I'm an idiot. Some people feel it makes them see their actions because you're peaceful. Ram Dass had this story that said, the samurai they were ravaging these villages, killing everyone. And they heard about this. Everyone was fleeing the villages to not get killed. All the monks went to the mountains, but they heard about this one monk, and the head samurai was like, "Oh, one monk. He's not scared of me. Does he know who I am?" So he goes there to the temple and finds the monk sitting by a tree, and he says, "Monk, don't you see that I've killed everyone here? Why have you not fled? Don't you know who I am? I could take my sword and stick it in your stomach right here." And the monk very peacefully looked at him and he said, "Don't you know who I am? I could have you stab me in the stomach and not blink an eye." And the monk or the samurai in that moment had that flash of realization I was just talking about. It's like when you don't give someone the reaction they have, it shocks them. He saw that spirituality and self-awareness was stronger than fear, and it was stronger than death. He was willing to die because what can you take from somebody that knows who they are? There's another story. A samurai goes to the monk, and the samurai goes, "Teach me about heaven and hell." And the monk goes, "Teach you about heaven and hell?" He's like, "What? You're stupid. You could never understand such a concept of heaven and hell. You're hardly a good samurai. Like, come on. If I was a little younger, I would kill you if I was another samurai." And the samurai, in anger, pulls out his sword to stab the monk, and the monk goes, "That's hell." And then the monk, or the samurai, realized the sacrifice that this monk almost just sacrificed his life to share this teaching of hell to this samurai, that the samurai just bows. He bows in reverence to the monk, like, oh my God. He had a spiritual awakening from this realization. And the monk says, "That's heaven." So, anyways, yeah, it's a beautiful story. So, heal yourself, take spiritual practice serious, and whatever that means to you. That doesn't mean anything crazy. That doesn't mean dogma. That doesn't mean anything. All that means is compassion, love, taking a second not to be reactionary, and seeing the beauty in the world, seeing the mystery in the world, and knowing that you're a part of that beauty, and yet you're a part of that mystery. No matter what you look like, no matter what you're going through, you are a flower. A flower, whether it's growing through concrete, whether it's a lotus in the mud, or whether it's growing from some abandoned rooftop, A flower is a flower, and it's beautiful, and humans are just like that. We're all just like that. So, thanks for watching. My name is Dakota. You can follow me on Instagram, Dakota Wint, Twitter also, TikTok, anywhere that's social media, Dakota Wint. You can follow my podcast, A Place for Humans, anywhere that you watch podcasts. Leave a comment if you want to hear me talk about something. I love to talk about these sort of deep stuff. So yeah, subscribe, Dakota of Earth. That's me. Peace out. Ya boy. Om Shanti Shanti.